things you're going to see is like where the ambiguity of the beginning of this journey was. Now we're going to be moving to much more certainty, much more sort of thoughtfulness of where the book heads, and really starting to look and feel like a book. So we've started to talk about positioning for many of you. We've started to talk about introductions. We're going to talk more about that today. In the coming weeks, we're going to be talking about chapter structures. We're going to be talking about how we begin these things. So a lot of stuff's going to be happening that I think will start to feel more like a book, which is good. And still, it's not going to change the fact that you're still probably going to be creating a pretty mediocre first draft, but that's okay, right? That's kind of the goal here, is something mediocre and done to make it better. So I just finished reading and giving feedback on 70 manuscripts. So you can do the math in your head. They averaged about like 30 or 28,000 words times 70. So it was a rough last 3 weeks. But nevertheless, the biggest thing that I would sort of say in all of them is, looking at what you guys produce over these 20 weeks. So I oftentimes will get people who will send me like cold manuscripts for feedback on it. And so I've probably reviewed, 30 or so sort of cold first draft manuscripts that are done typically like independently and what you guys do. And I would tell you that on average, the sort of quality that you guys produce is 2 to 3x better. It just is, because most people don't really realize like what a manuscript looks like and what structure looks like and what stories look like. So a lot of the stuff that you've been doing is setting you up to produce something very well. So just understand that I know sometimes it may feel like, how am I doing overall? I will tell you the system is set up to help you succeed. And I think where all of you are based on feedback from editors is you guys will create something really good. And what I'm finding in these early positioning calls, I think I've done probably with half of the group so far, is the topics are fascinating. Like the work you guys have put in is going to be really interesting. And so I think all of you will produce really, really good books. I think the important thing just to sort of know is like, trust the process, keep doing things, and you'll see as we get down the line, it's going to, in some senses, get harder, but in other senses, I think you're going to see all the work you've put in will really help you succeed in that regard. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to sort of, again, kind of continue in our journey where we've been for the last couple weeks, which is sort of in this create content phase. And as we've discussed, this is sort of the middle bulk of the thing where you're creating a bunch of content. And we're also moving from that unstructured to structured look. So that's some of the things that we really start to do with this idea of this positioning call. And this positioning call really is designed to be a call where we sort of take all the stuff you learned and help you sort of say, all right, where is this book actually headed? And I'll pick on our lone wolf in the room here. It's one of those things that I think you come out of it and you feel like, oh, I can see that this work isn't just like arbitrary random work. It felt like a book. So after your positioning call, since you've done it, what was your feeling about, like, did it become clearer? Did it feel more excited? Like, what would you feel like after you sort of had your positioning call?
I mean, it was nice that we actually went through the document and kind of laid out each part of the book. So I actually I kind of knew where each story was going to fit in the book. Where I knew this is the part where I'm going to talk about this is the part where I'm going to talk about that. So I actually have now a vision of what this product will be when it comes out.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the goal here. Is I would say one of the hardest things is it's hard to sort of know what a book should look like if you've never written one before. So a lot of the reasons this positioning call exists is just that. It's designed to give you that structure. And so you'll see, as we'll talk more about this evening, that the design of it is to really help you take all of the work you've been doing and say, hey, listen, now I think you know enough about your topic to be able to make these calls. And so if I had sort of said, hey, this is what I think might happen, you would have been like, well, I don't know, I still got to learn more. You now know enough, and I think you have enough of the tools to sort of figure out where this will go. So that's kind of what it is. So today we're going to spend just a few minutes talking a little bit about the big idea and the book positioning, just to sort of give you a sense of where it's going. I think at least half of you guys have done it already, so we'll talk a little bit about that. For those of you that haven't, you'll hopefully be doing it this week, but it's really designed as we begin the back nine of our book journey to give you that confidence that your book has a future going forward. So that's kind of like the idea behind it a little bit. Then we're going to spend the bulk of the time talking about your introduction. And so the homework coming out of all these positioning calls is really very simple. I want you to take a first stab at your introduction. And it's one of those documents that I think is maybe the most important one you can do at this phase because it really helps you lock in where the book should go and where you want it to go. It's this idea of making the case through it.